All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all glory and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Honors and salutations to the hopeful elect, pushing this word in true sincerity. Or this is the brother Tawab Rakha from GMS Los Angeles, coming back with another video in the spirit. Once again, I want to give all glory and praises to Yahweh Shemel Shai for opening my eyes to this truth, allowing me to wake up another day and putting the spirit on me to do another lesson in hopes that I'll find the hopeful elect. Okay, so in this video, what I want to go into is pretty much an exhortation, okay, for brothers to, remember there's order in this truth, brothers, from the apostles, elders on down. When elders and older brothers, tell you, you younger brothers certain things, is a reason why, the certain orders go down, go out. You know what I mean? And you younger brothers that that comes, under the apostles, elders, and the older brothers. It's important you follow orders. Okay, just because you may be in the presence of these men, okay, you may be you may be in the camp where you're in the midst of these men a lot, but don't allow that familiarity, okay, get you to think that you're on those men's level. Okay, every brother that's in this truth, every man that's in this truth, you know what I'm saying, Lord willing, we all enduring to the end. Every man got to work out his own salvation with fear and trembling, and every man got to prove his own work. Okay, so men that have come into this ministry, okay, that's been laboring, okay, for years, and you men that come after these men, you can't lose that respect, you can't lose that order, you can't lose that reverence for those men. Okay, don't allow, like I said, that familiarity get you to be thinking too highly of yourself and thinking you on those men's level, and what happens with that, Jake, that starts feeling themselves and start getting into that mindset, Jake starts going way the fuck off, man, and they start disregarding the things that the men that's been laboring before them, men that that's above them in the spirit, they start disrespecting them, and you don't have to call a brother out his name to disrespect him. You don't have to necessarily do something physical to a man to disrespect him, by you not simply taking heed to that man's word, or you not what's the word I'm looking for? You're not acknowledging that man's position in the spirit. Okay, so when the man tells you certain things, you brush it off. And I'm speaking in general. Okay, so this is something we all have to be mindful of. Okay, so I'm gonna bring out a few scriptures, and Lord willing, this be edifying. Okay, this is the first scripture I'm gonna start with is Hebrews chapter 13 verse 17. It says, "Obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls, as they must give account, that they may do it with joy and not with grief, for that is unprofitable for you." You see, and it's, like I said, start with our apostles and elders on down. Okay, For years, apostles have been exhorting brothers and admonishing brothers, as far as, being in order, man. Okay, being diligent. Okay, making sure, we abiding by these scriptures the correct way. Okay, like, for example, apostles and elders and elders have throughout the years have been getting on brothers about being diligent, man. Especially Apostle Tahar. That's part of that admonishment. Okay, and Apostle Tahar, he leads by example, man. All the apostles lead by example. Okay, so through the Spirit, to the best of our ability, we have to show that same diligence. Another thing, for years, apostles and elders have been exhorting brothers, not to, have the appearance of the world, man. Like these certain haircuts out here, these Jakes out here, they, Jake, back in the day was real big. Jake used to get them lineups. Jake still get lineups, but now they got a new thing where they got all these different retarded ass hairstyles. Where they have a fro hawk. They have the fro hawk. They have a lot of Jakes are getting them. They're getting like braids with the edges cut off. Same thing with the northern tribes. They do that same type of hair cut hairstyle. Okay, you looking totally like of the world, man. And you see that in these different Israelite camps. With certain individuals, they got that appearance of, when you look at them, they look like a straight up Jake from the world. So I'm just using those few things as an example to show that's an example of being disobedient. Okay, that's an example of being unruly. Okay, because starting with apostles and elders on down, when you look at the apostles, you don't see the apostles have those worldly ass haircuts. Okay, they keep it simple, man, and lawful. Okay, you don't see our apostles and elders doing those things. Okay, so we have to follow that same behaviors, follow that same pattern. Okay. All right, I got another one. This is 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 1. It says, "The elders which are among you I exhort, who am also an elder and a witness of the sufferings of Hamashiach, and also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed." Right, you see that? Because the elders, not just apostles, elders, and bishops in Great Millstone in New York, but all the brothers that's within your own camp, that's elders. Okay, that's head brothers in the camp. Okay, brothers gotta respect that order, man. Okay, and don't be out here moving recklessly, man, because everything you do reflects on the body. Okay, the scriptures speak about being blameless. Okay, that's talking about being blameless as far as dealing with this ministry, man. Okay, we don't want to be out here giving an offense, okay, or giving Satan ammunition to speak evil of this truth, which they're gonna speak evil of the truth anyway, but we don't want to be the reason, why they speak. We don't want to make it, we don't want to be the reason why the truth is being evil spoke of, okay? By doing evil things, okay? We want to be blameless, okay? Because we know this devil, he gonna come down and you know and accuse us or whatever, you know. He's gonna demonize whatever because we speaking up against this wicked ass society, but you know what I mean. But we don't want to be no reckless ass person or demon, okay, being all unruly out here in this world and bringing a bad name to this ministry, man. Okay, because individuals like that, the Lord is going to remove. Okay, especially in this time that we're coming into, man, the Lord is not playing. Okay, that's why a lot, you got all these individuals out here getting exposed, man. Guys that's supposed to know they Israelites are getting exposed. Okay, so we all gotta be, you gotta be moving right, man. You gotta be in the spirit. We all gotta be in the spirit, man. Okay, and be mindful of these things. All right, it says, the elders which are among you I exhort, who am also an elder and a witness of the sufferings of Hamashiach, and also a partaker of the glory that shall be revealed. Feed the flock of the Most High which is among you, taking the oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly, not for filthy lucre, but of a ready mind. You see that? Feed the flock, feeding the congregation, or the believers. Okay, feeding them with what? This word, this truth, preaching this word. Okay, but also being an example, man. Okay, because we gotta practice what we preach. Okay, and we don't do this by constraint. We don't do this, so we can, get a payday. Okay, we do this out of a sincere heart, man. All right. It says, neither as being lords over the Most High's heritage, but being examples to the flock. Right. We ain't here to be tyrants, okay, to take advantage of you brothers as well as you few sisters. We ain't out here to take advantage of y'all, okay? We ain't out here to defraud nobody. All right. We just simply here to preach the word and to be as upright as we possibly can, man. Being an example, okay? That's what this truth is about. It's not about being popular. It's not about, tooting your own horn. It's not about, trying to receive all these different accolades, even though the scriptures speak about the Lord, he said he's going to give his servants fame in the land that were put to shame. And with that comes praises, but that's not the reason, we out here serving the Lord, man. We're not out here looking to build up a rep for ourselves, okay? Build up a reputation for ourselves. We out here just to simply please the Lord, man, get in the Lord's good graces, man. Okay, because we are in a grace period, and the Lord he's showing that favor towards that election, and Lord willing, we of the election. Okay. It says, when the chief shepherd shall appear, ye shall receive a crown of glory that fadeth not away. Right. That chief shepherd is referring to our Lord Yahweh Shai. Okay. Like it speaks of in Colossians, the 3rd chapter. When the Lord will appear, then shall the elect appear with him in glory. Okay. Having that crown. Okay. We ain't got the crowns yet. Okay. That's why we always say hopeful elect. Okay. We hope to be of that number, because those are the ones that's going to receive that crown. They're going to receive that eternal glory, man. Okay. It said, let me jump down 7. 1 Peter 5:7. It says, casting all your care upon him, for he cared for you. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. You see that? And that spirit of rebellion is out there, man. That spirit of it's a seducing spirit out here, man. You know, and by being unruly in these times, that's gonna be very detrimental, man. You know, and the Lord, you know, we just had the Pesach, so you know, this time of the year is always a crucial time of the year. You know, whether it's before the Pesach, during the Pesach, and a little after the Pesach. You know, the Lord always trims the fat. So we don't want to be trimmed. You know, we don't want to be that fat that's getting trimmed. We want to, you know, do what we have to do in order to stay in that good grace of the Lord, man. Okay, and by being unruly, disobedient, okay, getting too familiar with the heads of your camp, older brothers, that shit is gonna get a lot of Jakes destroyed, man. Okay, so this is something brothers be mindful of. We all gotta be mindful of, man. Okay, because Yahweh Shemi Yahushua is not playing. The Lord is bringing judgment on this earth. You know, and you know, we want to be on the Lord's good side. We don't want to be on the Lord's bad side, man. Because whoever's on the Lord's bad side, they're going to feel that wrath, man. Okay, simple as that. So that's pretty much it. Like I said, real quick, I just, you know, this was on my mind. So I thought, you know, let me just do a video. So Lord willing, this is edifying to you sincere brothers, as well as you few sisters out there. Stay strong, keep pushing. We're almost out there. So with that, I'm going to say all glory and praises to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim HaKodash, the honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, honors and salutations to the hopeful elect, pushing this word, truth,